Welcome again to Ancient Tales for Today. Well, we've been looking at some very interesting stories from this old book. Last time we talked about places of safety, and although that was back then, our homes, 你的家,我的家, can become places of safety. Now, in today's lesson, we're going to talk about Moses. People around the world, even non-religious people, know who Moses is, and we are now coming to his final end, the end of a great leader, number 70. Stay by for the story, and then I'll be back.
Story 70. The death of a great leader. Moses has been leading the people of Israel for many years, as the ancient tales describe. Now his time is coming to an end. This is the final reality we all have to face. Moses has had an amazing life. It began in Egypt as son of a slave woman. He was rescued from death by an Egyptian princess and became a royal son. He lived his first 40 years in the luxury and comfort of an Egyptian palace. The next 40 years, Moses spent his time looking after sheep. After killing an Egyptian, he had run away to Midian and lived there in exile. Then, for the last 40 years of his life, he took care of some human, quotes, sheep, the people of Israel. They often acted like sheep, not thinking very well and getting into trouble. Now, at a very old age, Moses faces the end. He climbs up a mountain, and from its peak he can see the whole promised land spread out before him. It looks beautiful, but for Moses, he has to be satisfied with just seeing it, for he will not go into this land. Even at the end, Moses is concerned for his people. He knows how easily they can be led from the path of right. So he teaches them a song to remind them of their journey and how heaven has led them every step of the way. Then he blesses them all. In addition, he also makes arrangements for Joshua to take over as leader, so that the Israelites will have someone to continue to lead them. So dies one of the greatest leaders that the world has ever seen. Moses was not perfect, but he learned good lessons. He followed his God and taught others about this heavenly Father who cares for each of his children. That was the key to his success.
Okay, welcome back. Here we are. We're going to look at this now sentence by sentence. We're talking about the death of a great leader. We're talking about the death of Moses. Moses had been leading the people for many years. If you look at the ancient tales, you will discover that Moses' life is easy to figure out. 40 years, he was in the palace of the king, 这个王宫啊. 40 years, he was herding sheep. And then 40 years leading people. We'll actually come back to that in just a minute. The ancient tales describe all of the things that happened to Moses. Now his time is coming to an end. 他的在地上的时间已经到结局. This is the final reality that we all have to face. we all have to understand that someday we will face death also. 最后一个现实 reality. Now, Moses had an amazing life. You think about it, and we'll go over it a little more detail than just a minute ago. Moses was 非常奇特的生命 Okay, or 人生 maybe life would be 人生非常奇特的 amazing life. Okay, it began in Egypt because he was born in Egypt. His parents were 奴隶 slaves, okay? Son of a slave woman, okay? Slaves 是奴隶妇人女人 Now, you remember that the king of Egypt was wanted to kill all of the children of at least the men, the boys, of the Israelites, because Israel was getting too strong. 以色列虽然是奴隶，越来越强。So the king of Egypt was afraid of them. But his mother took the little baby boy, put him in a basket, and took him down to the riverside, 这个尼罗河旁边. And right there, he was rescued from death by an Egyptian princess. 这个埃及王的埃及国家的这个公主 Egyptian princess. And he became a royal son. 他就变成王子 a royal son. So that's a great way to start, isn't it? Not bad at all. He lived his first 40 years in luxury. 他头40年 Well, let's see. Yeah, you could even say that. Up until he's 40 years old, he lived in luxury, 很奢华，一切都非常奢华 and comfort. Okay, 舒适 very comfortable, 很舒服 because he was in the Egyptian palace. 他在埃及的王宫Okay, now, the next 40 years is a little bit different. For instance, Moses spent his time watching sheep. From 40 years old to 80 years old, 他是牧羊 You say, whoa, how could you fall? 怎么能够堕落 from being the royal son, and now you become a what? You become a 牧羊人, a shepherd, because he tried to kill. After killing an Egyptian, he had to run away to Midian. 他就逃跑到 Midian 这个国家 and he lived there in exile. That means he lived away from his home country, his home place. That's the second 40 years. Now, for the last 40 years of his life, he took care of some human sheep. 当然他是带领这个以色列出埃及 But in our story, the way we have written it, he was leading human sheep, because sometimes humans are just like sheep. They need leadership. They need leadership. Okay? The people of Israel needed leadership. So there you have it. Think of it in this way: 40, 40, and 40. Easy to remember Moses' life. First, royal son. Second, shepherd of sheep. Third is what? The third is the shepherding or leading human sheep. They often acted like sheep. 他们的行为很像这个羊一样. They're not thinking very well and always getting, I should have written always, they were often getting in trouble. 他们的思想是不够, well, they just weren't thinking. You know, have you ever done something that you weren't thinking about it and afterwards you said, well, why did I do that? Well, they did it. I don't know why they did it, but they did it. They weren't thinking. They acted like sheep and sometimes acted very badly. And now, after a full life, many experiences, each one of the experiences were very special, 非常奇特, an amazing life. But just like you and me, we all come to a point where the end comes. At a very old age, 120多岁, at a very old age, Moses faces the end. 要面对结局, 生命的结局. So, stay by now for some light on our path, and then we'll be back. Okay, we are going now to look at some more light on our path. We'll go to Deuteronomy 34:10. 34:10, and today maybe I'll let you read the first part.
好，第申命记的34章10节说，以后以色列中再没有兴起先知像摩西的，他是耶和华面对面所认识的。
And the English simply says, since then no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face.
艾老师啊，最后这句话真的很好啊。 他是耶和华面对面所认识的。 上帝非常的认识摩西，
Right.
摩西也非常的认识上帝，他们同行了那么多年，是不是？
That's true. But you know something? They became good friends.
对，
In fact, 全圣经啊，只有2位是真正的描述说 they were friends. 一个是摩西，一个是亚伯拉罕。So after all these years, Moses and God had a very friendly relationship. How do you say 友谊？这个
友谊友情。我想比这个更深刻的就是他们很亲密。
Yes, that's very good. 很亲密的关系啊。So finally, they come down to the end of the life, and God says, "Go up onto the mountain because you're going to die." 如果是我呢，or 你，
对，我们可能会选择上帝，我真的要去那里吗？我在这里，我还是想去迦南呐。
Yeah, that's true. But he was in the habit. 这个遵守是一种习惯啊。
对对。
And so he was in the habit of listening to God and following what God said. So now we have Moses at a very old age. He climbs up the mountain. Actually, God told him, you must climb up the mountain because up on the mountain you will die. Now this is very interesting because Moses, the ancient tales, 这个古经, they tell us that Moses' eyesight, 他的眼睛没有老化, his eyesight was very good. 他的精神好得不得了. Okay, but God said, you are finished. You have finished your work. Now I want you to climb up on the mountain. He climbs up the mountain and right up to the very top of the mountain, to the mountain peak. The 山顶上, 山峰啊, okay? And he can see the whole promised land. He can see far in the distance. 他可以看到应许之地, the promised land. This was the land that he had hoped to enter. But God said, no, you cannot enter. It is spread out, 好像摆在地毯一样, spread out before him. Wow. This is the promised land. He had hoped, his hopes, he had worked so hard. But now, all he can do is look. 他只能够看，他不能去。It looks beautiful. It's beautiful. But for Moses, he has to be satisfied with just seeing it. 他只能够看，他必须因为看而满足。Because he will not go into this land. He will not go in. God had said, you made a mistake and you cannot go into the land. But even at the end, you see that? Even at the end, Moses is concerned for his people. 在这个最后时刻，在生命的结局， Moses is concerned, 还是很关心他的子民呢 his people. He's interested in them. He's concerned about them. He knows how easily, of course, 当然，他已经有40年的经验带领他们。He understands how easily they can be led from the path of right. 他知道他们是这么容易能够偏离这个正道 to leave the path of light. He knows this. And this is a concern for him. And you can believe for all these years he's been praying and praying and praying. And now he's still concerned about them. So he teaches them a song. So here's a song that he teaches them. He actually taught them before he went up on the mountain. So here's the song that he teaches them. In the last book of the Bible, 这个古经啊, it's called the Song of Moses and the Lamb. But here it's called the Song of Moses. And the song is to remind them about their journey. 要 remind them, okay? 提醒他们的所过去的旅程啊。 and how heaven has led them every step of the way. 一步一步，天国就带领他们了。So this is the song that he wrote. Moses was an amazing person because he was able to write music. Of course, the first 5 books of the ancient tales, 这个古经are all written by him. So he was a good writer and he could write songs. Then he blesses them. 然后他就祝福大家。还没有上去的时候 in addition, he also makes arrangements. 他就安排 Joshua 约书亚要 take over 接替 as the new leader. Joshua becomes the new leader of Israel, so that the Israelites have someone to continue to lead them. They were like sheep. They needed a shepherd. Moses was the shepherd. Now they have a new shepherd, a new leader. His name is Joshua. Then he climbed up the mountain, and so one dies. He dies, one of the greatest leaders the world has ever seen. One of the greatest leaders. Nobody, I don't think of anyone that is greater than Moses. He was not perfect, but he learned some good lessons. Not perfect, 不是完完全全的完完美美的, but even when he made his mistakes, there's only one mistake that we know about after he started leading the Israelites. He made several mistakes. After all of those mistakes, he learned some good lessons. He followed God and taught others about the Heavenly Father who cares for each of his children. 他跟从神啊. And this God of heaven, he said, and it's true, 是很照顾, 愿意照顾他的子民. And this was the key to his success, and it will be the key to our success. If we trust heaven, then we will have success. Well, stay by for words you do need to know. And now for some words you need to know. To begin with, our title says the death of a great leader. Great?
伟大的
Great leader. We use this a lot. He is a great person. 他是伟大的一个人等等啊. The next one, reality.
现实
Reality. We often say we need to face reality.
面对现实
Yes, we all need to
对。
面对现实.
对。
We all need to face reality. The next one is a hard one for me because it was a new one. He lived for the first 40 years. 摩西在埃及是很他的环境是非常奢华 luxury.
是的，很富有，很奢华的
Okay, we can say in luxury or luxurious. Can you say luxury?
luxury
Very good, very good. Now he came to a very old age. He was over 120 years old. 120岁以上
对对
Okay, and so now at a very old age, Moses faces the end.
摩西面对他这个生命的终结了。
OK，他的结局终结啊。
对，
The end of his life. Okay, and so now somebody new is going to take over, and that's Joshua. To take over, what does it mean to take over?
是说接替的人或者是继承者。
Okay, Joshua is going to take over. And I guess that's about all the time we have for words you need to know. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our lesson today. It's been an interesting lesson, a lesson that we all must face. Sooner or later, we will come to the end of our lives. So, but that's not the end of the stories, because the story continues. As we saw in the last lesson, there's now a new leader. His name is Joshua. Now, in the next lesson, which will be 71, next lesson, we talk about a prostitute believes in God. One of the strangest stories in the Bible. Very interesting. 妓女就信上帝. You'll want to join us next time as we look at this most fascinating story.
That's all for today, and thanks for watching. If you like Ancient Tales for Today, please visit atft.chinesehope.tv. You may also contact us by writing to ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Again, that's ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Tell your friends about Ancient Tales for Today. See you next time.